Here to Live Now from Fox. Sticking with Arizona, a devastating story from late last night as two individuals were killed in a police helicopter crash late in the evening on Wednesday in Flagstaff, Arizona, while responding to an active shooting incident. And it was a chaotic scene on the ground as officers responded to a domestic violence call when a suspect began firing at police from the backyard, then proceeded to hop rooftop to engage with police. DPS says a Ranger 56 helicopter crashed while providing tactical support during the active shooting incident. Both the pilot and the trooper and paramedic died on board. For more on this, let's go out right now to Brian Webb with this report.
Night video of the chopper spinning out of control and plunging to the ground, killing two people on board. Kathleen has lived in this neighborhood for nearly 20 years.
And it's shocking when we lose community members who risk their lives to protect us.
The chopper went down at around 10:30, but police say the trouble started earlier with a domestic violence call, followed by a 2-hour shooting spree as the suspect jumped from rooftop to rooftop, firing the entire time.
They like get down, and then the guy's like, my hands are up. And then when he said that, 2 seconds later, he rolls over and kind of rolls over the roof, and he runs away, basically.
3 officers and a trooper fired back. The suspect was hit by a bullet, taken to the hospital, and is now in custody. No officers on the ground were hurt, and the domestic violence victim is okay.
These officers' valor and their heroic behavior resulted in us putting ourselves between that gunfire and this victim and rescuing her to safety.
The chopper was on the scene to help police during the chaos until it crashed at 10:27 p.m. Investigators don't know what went wrong, but the impact is being felt far beyond the crash site.
Please keep our personnel, their families, and all those that have been impacted in your thoughts and prayers.
So I'm just hoping it's not somebody I personally knew. And I'm just praying for the families. It's just it's tragic.
All right, just a very sad story north of Phoenix, kind of in that northern Arizona area. Obviously very mountainous, but a tragedy unfolding overnight as 2 individuals were killed. They're responding to this chaotic scene. Let's take you right now out to this press conference from earlier in Flagstaff, Arizona, as officials describing what was unfolding late last night in that area.
All right, everyone ready? Well, thank you for coming out. I do appreciate it. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Warren Trent. I'm the Public Information Manager for the Arizona Department of Public Safety. I'm here to introduce Colonel Jeffrey Glover, Director of the Arizona Department of Public Safety. He'll make a few remarks. He will not be taking any questions.
Good morning, everyone. Just for a quick moment, I just want to have a brief moment of silence for our fallen. Thank you very much. Late yesterday evening, at approximately 10:17 p.m., an Arizona Department of Public Safety helicopter was involved in an accident near Flagstaff below the Loyal Observatory. The helicopter and crew known as Ranger 56 departed Western Air Rescue in Kingman and were responding to a call for service to assist the Flagstaff Police Department with an active shooter incident. At the time of the incident, there were 2 DPS personnel on board, a pilot and a trooper paramedic. Unfortunately, both are tragically deceased. Our immediate priority is the safety, care, and well-being of our personnel. We are working closely with our state, local, and federal public safety partners and aviation authorities, including the FAA and NTSB, as they respond to and assess the situation for us. Out of respect for those involved and to ensure accurate information, we will not be releasing additional details about the deceased at this time. We are committed to providing updates as more information becomes available and is confirmed. Please keep our personnel, their families, and all those that have been impacted in your thoughts and prayers during this difficult time. We want to express our deep gratitude and thanks to the Flagstaff Police Department and the Coconino County Sheriff's Office for their support during this tragedy. Chief Conley is going to address the events leading up to the crash and also address the Flagstaff community. Chief Conley.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
I stand here tonight a little broken. This is an amazing community and it's unique. Nowhere in this state does a university police department, a county sheriff's office, a municipal city department, and a state patrol have to work so intimately together to provide public safety. And last night was another incredible example that was blended with just very impactful tragedy. Our city and our state have experienced a significant loss. We are part of this community. It's days like today that I have to reflect back on so many years, and I hope we all have the ability to reflect now on what it means for the men and women in law enforcement in this state and the true costs at times they bear, that we bear as a community in the noblest of professions. I think sometimes even in our darkest moments, we still see amazing acts of strength and kindness and collaboration and thoughtfulness. And we're just so grateful for the partners that you see up here today. Our community was impacted, and I'm going to give you some details here a little bit, but I too am not going to take questions. You have relationships with our public information officers and they'll be able to, but this neighborhood was under siege last night. So I want to walk you through a little bit of what this incredible incident was to this community and to the members of not only the Flagstaff Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, and the Department of Public Safety. So at about 8:31 last night, we received a domestic violence call in the 1700 block of Shelley Drive. When our officers arrived on scene, we were contacted by a victim in the front yard of a residence. This victim was uninjured. As we were having contact with the victim and trying to decipher what exactly was going on, from the back of this residence, an individual, a career criminal, armed with a long rifle, a semi-automatic long rifle, opened fire on our officers and this victim. These officers' valor and their heroic behavior resulted in us putting ourselves between that gunfire and this victim and rescuing her to safety. Here's the incredible Flagstaff Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, Coconino County Sheriff's Office, and the Department of Public Safety attempting to bring safety and peace to this neighborhood. So from just after 8:30 till almost 10:20, our officers were involved in numerous gun battles with this individual, with dozens and dozens of rounds being fired. During these gun battles, I'm grateful, beyond grateful, to say that none of our officers were struck or wounded by gunfire. We had 3 Flagstaff police officers that were involved in officer-involved shootings. Their tenure with us ranges from 3 years to 8 years in law enforcement. There was also a Department of Public Safety employee that fired their weapon during this instance, and they have approximately 3.5 years. As is standard policy and protocol, these officers are on administrative leave. The other thing I want to say when we say this, wellness is one of the most important things we're doing for the hearts and minds of our community and our officers. They're also on a 30-day wellness investigative protocol in addition to this. During that 2 hours, what we had was an individual armed with a long rifle, a semi-automatic long rifle, hopping from roof to roof, taking points of vantage from high ground, firing upon our officers into homes. Multiple backyards, multiple community members, multiple rooftops. At about 10:20-ish, we were able to bring this suspect into custody. The suspect is currently at Flagstaff Medical Center receiving treatment. Right about that same time, as you heard Director Glover, the tragedy occurred with the helicopter. It's really important for us in these regional communities to have that air support from the Department of Public Safety. So I can't thank you enough. We don't have those types of assets here. So for them to come overhead in what is a very dark sky community and provide us with some eyes and ears on some things was really important to our safety. And then tragically, that helicopter was involved in an accident. Right now, we have great appreciation for the Major Incident Division of the Department of Public Safety. This elite investigative team, under the umbrella of transparency and legitimacy, will be taking the lead on this investigation. Let me paint another little picture for you based on the response from the Flagstaff Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, and the Department. I have a little over 40 witness and victim officers that are involved. So imagine the work that needs to go on as it relates to going through interviews, processing evidence, gleaning statements. That's in addition to us having our officers that are involved in the shooting protocol. We ask for your patience and your grace. We have to get these right. This is going to be a long, exhaustive process. This impact on these law enforcement agencies is immense. Absolutely immense. When I look at my staffing model, what happened last night, we have to rely on these partnerships to get this job done. But I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you from the men and women of the Flagstaff Police Department. And I want to thank our community. It means a lot to us. As I said, our PIOs are going to be available to you for additional questions. Afford us that grace to get this right. There's a lot of tragedy here. There's also a lot of valor here. I'm going to hand this off to Ammon Barker, our Coconino County attorney, who would like to say a few words. Thanks, Ammon.
Thanks, Chief. Good morning. My name is Ammon Barker. I'm the Coconino County attorney. First, I want to acknowledge the tragedy of losing members of our law enforcement community. On behalf of the County Attorney's Office, I extend our deepest condolences to the families, friends, colleagues of the DPS members who lost their lives last night while serving this community. It won't be forgotten. Since last night, our office has been working closely with law enforcement partners to ensure that we have a clear and complete understanding of what happened. Community safety is our top priority, and we will continue working alongside law enforcement with that responsibility in mind. I want to again acknowledge this profound loss and express my gratitude for the sacrifices that our law enforcement officers make every day to keep our communities safe. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Jerry Rinsel. I'm the PIO for the Flagstaff Police Department. Most of you already know how to get a hold of me. DPS and I will be in touch in the near future with more information. We thank everybody for coming out today.
All right, just listening in there to an update from Flagstaff, Arizona, in northern Arizona, following this tragedy as two officers were killed, a helicopter pilot and a paramedic, an officer, as they were providing support to a call that stemmed from a domestic violence call. It led to a shootout as this suspect was jumping rooftop to rooftop. And you can only imagine what the chaotic scene looked like as that unfolded in the evening hours late last night.